Okay, it's still the wrong orientation. I'm just trying to fix this, because what I see on my phone isn't what I see coming up on the computer on Facebook, and there's about a 30-second lag, so it becomes really good fun when you're trying to do anything. Alright, so I think if I move this down a little bit, sorry, thank you for your patience, guys. Alright, how's everyone going on Friday? We made it to another Friday. It's almost the end of winter, and it's a beautiful sunny day here in Perth, so apologies if you can hear my washing machine going, because I'm trying to get lots of laundry done before the weekend, and then I'll have more time on the weekend to do fun things like craft, because I have new toys to play with. It's very exciting at the moment, because not only do Stamping Up have bonus days running until the 3rd of August, but so that one is for every $90 you can get a $9 spend from the 4th of August through to the end of August. But also on the 4th of August, I don't know if I can quite get this whole catalogue in shot, but the new mini catalogue, Handmade for You, comes out, which is very exciting. If you don't have a demonstrator and would like a copy of this, please let me know and I will organise that for you. And I'm pretty sure there is a way I can get the orientation of this jolly little technology camera the right way, but it's beyond me. I think I'm about 20 years too old for this technology, and all of the training courses that I had signed up to do with technology back in February, March, because I do know it's an area that I need to improve on, got cancelled because of COVID. So I am trying to improve my technology levels, but some days the world is just against you for wanting to learn that. Now, the other thing that is coming up in August is on August the 11th in Australia, South Pacific, we actually get the Box of Sunshine, which is a paper pumpkin kit from North America that is available globally on the 11th of August. And it is a complete kit. It has all the stamps, ink, materials that you need to create 8 cards plus a few more items, and it's 37 Australian dollars. The only thing not in the kit is a pair of paper snips and a clear acrylic block. Now, I am told at a pinch that you can use your mobile phone, you can use all sorts of things instead of the clear block. But you know, if you don't have a clear block, let me know. There's a couple of sizes. The C and particularly the D size is probably the best one that I know of in terms of versatility. No, that's not a word. Versatility, there we go, we'll go with that one. But pretty much this morning what I wanted to show you, if I move this around. Good morning, Miley. I know, I cannot believe our children are now 14 years old. Well, in your case, your oldest child. For me, it's my only child. Morning, Julie. This is what I wanted to show you this morning. I'm hoping I've got that in camera view. Like I said, there's about a 30-second delay between what you see and what I see on the screen. So I'm trying to multitask, and it's just, you know, one of those things. But these are little tea bag holders, and I have made these for years, and I don't think I've ever blogged it or shown people. I don't even know if we've made these in a class, which is a bit sad when I've been teaching classes for about 28 years now. So they're really, really simple. They are just a cute little gift. I've used them as table favors. I've used them, obviously this year I made a whole batch. I made about 180 of them for the Cancer Foundation's morning teas, 2 groups that I know were doing a charity fundraiser for the cancer fundraiser. So I just made them. They're really simple. I do tend to buy the Twinings teas when they are on sale in the supermarket. Because tea has a fairly good use by date, this is July 2022 and this is November 2022, you can, if you know that you're going to be doing something where you would like to have the little tea bag holders as a thank you gift or a little thinking of you item, you can get these when they are on sale. I normally wait until they're half price, and you can stock up on a few, and it does save a little bit of money. But there's 10 in a packet. They are individually foil wrapped to keep them nice and fresh. And like I said, I've got a couple of different flavours there, and clearly I was in need of extra caffeine that morning. I bought the extra strong ones. It is also one of those things. So lots of things happening, and the 29th of August, Saturday the 29th of August is the next pizza night. If you want to come and create in person with us, those events are $12. Food is provided, like dinner, pizza dinner, obviously, that's why we call it pizza night. And supper is provided, hot drinks and space, that's $12. You can bring whatever you want to those events, and crafty wise, or you can just come and chat and catch up and eat. So the next one of that is on August the 28th. So in terms of this little one, normally I make lots at once. So I would do all the cutting and scoring, and then I do all the like sentiments, and then I do all the flowers, and then I just glue them all together. So I sort of tend to batch those. One of the good things is with our cutter and scorer is we now have a new metric arm. This, when you buy it standard from Stamping Up, is imperial measurement, so it's all in inches, whereas up the top here it's inches and centimetres. Well, as of very recently, for $7 you can actually replace this little arm with a metric one. I do use both inches and centimetres, but I do tend to use them here, so having this in centimetres is more convenient for me. If you are like that and want one of those, just let me know. But the base piece of cardstock for this is 7 centimetres wide by 18.5 centimetres. I will put up the dimensions later. If I get my butt into gear, I might even blog it, but you know, I don't like to make these rash promises. So 7 centimetres wide by 18.5 centimetres, and like I said, if I am doing lots, what I would tend to do is just get the A4 piece of paper cardstock, and do all the scoring, turn it, and then slice it into 7 centimetre strips, if that makes sense. So when I've got my piece 7 centimetres by 8.5, what I will do is score it. Now, just to annoy people, I have got the scoring measurements in inches and centimetres, but I do tend to work in inches for this one. The first score line you want is 3/4 of an inch or 2 centimetres. So just put that down. The light coloured one is the scoring, the dark is the cutting. So just score that. Move it up to 10.5 centimetres roughly, or it's 4.25 inches, score, and then 4 3/4 or roughly 11 centimetres. It works out pretty much what you need is, if I just move that, I need to be an octopus and I need everything within arm's reach but out of the camera's range. So what you need is a little flap that folds over. That was your first 3/4 of an inch or 2 centimetres. And then you want like a little gusset happening here. I don't know if you can quite see that. So what will happen is that, and it effectively allows the gap for the tea bag to go in. If this little gusset isn't there, it bulges and it doesn't fold in like a little matchbook folder nicely. So that's principally what we're making, is a little matchbook folder. So that one's there. Now to decorate this was pretty much, this is the new Bumblebee yellow colour. I actually very much like this, not just because I have my own little bees, but it's just that slightly off shade from the brights, and I do tend to prefer the Regals when I'm crafting personally. But the little, I'm not decorating this one this morning. I've made lots and lots of these. I don't need to make any more. But this morning I was actually going to just put a little designer paper series pattern paper just on the top there. And these were left over, these strips were left over from the card buffet that Sue and I ran on Saturday, and it was so nice to be able to craft with people in person after such a long break. But these are actually 6 centimetres by 6 centimetres in size. I'm just going to put the cutter behind me and not drop it on the floor or do anything terrible to it. I do tend to be a little bit rough on my equipment some days. Personally, I always craft with the Tombow glue. It gives me a little bit of wiggle, a little bit of dry time, and it sticks really strong. Now you might say, look at this and go, Anne, you have cut this wrong because there's a bit of a gap down here and it's not even all the way around. But please remember, when this is put together, that bottom flap will cover that up a little bit. So I actually that's just a 6 centimetre square of pattern paper. Now, to decorate this, what I am going to do, I actually did this too. I was actually looking at using the little daisy punch. Sometimes, and I want 2. Sometimes when we get the new catalogues, we forget about what's in the old catalogues, and I really, really like these daisies. So I think they're very happy, and I think at the moment the world needs more happiness. How are your bees, Rochelle? Mine are very, very hungry. It was a sunny day yesterday and I did a hive inspection, which I know it's a little bit cold, but that's what I did because I wanted to see what was going on. And they're actually really hungry. So for the first time ever since I've had my bees, I had to make up some syrup this morning, so they need to be fed, which was a bit startling. Good morning, Michelle. This is actually a new ink pad, and when you get the new ink pads, what I would recommend doing, take these stickers off. Now, I always put the name of the actual ink on the front because I do store mine in the stamp storage that we have, beautiful stamp storage. Whoops, trying to get this level. Okay, when I open the stamp storage, the ink pad, open the stamp storage, I get the blank one, which has no name on it, and I put this in the bottom little inkwell because when I've got the ink pads open and if I've got a couple of colours, when you can't always tell the colour just from the foam mat here. And then just to be sure if I'm using it upside down and downside up, I like to be multilingual, improve my language, and I just grab one of the other ones. And I think the other ones are French, German and Japanese, and I just put another one on the back there. I don't tend to look at it, I'm just looking at the colour, so I don't look at it too much. But once I've got my ink pad labelled, sorry, this was a new one, a little bit of sponge, and these sponges I do tend to cut into pieces and individually label so that I don't get my colours mixed up and contaminate either my ink pads or my project. And then I just sponge the edges just to give the flower a little bit of colour, and then to give it a little bit of dimension I actually will usually go through, and you can do it with a bone folder, I just use my fingers because I'm very hands-on, and I think that looks nicer curved up than I do when it's flat. So this I'm just going to stick there, and then we want a flower centre, and just a little, I've got circle punches from I don't know how old that I use, but you can use whatever you want really. Sometimes the builder punches, the ones that have multiple shapes on one punch, they've got a really good size little circle. And when I'm using the big, larger daisy, this is the medium one. When I'm using the big one, I do tend to use a 1/2 inch circle punch. And I've just popped that up on the little dimensionals. I like having those, the option of the little and the big ones. And then I want to put a little sentiment or something here because I think this just closed, it's a little bit naked, so it needs a little bit more there. And I've just grabbed a sentiment from Free as a Bird. Very pretty stamp set. I do love that one. Again, that's another one in the annual catalogue that don't forget about the annual catalogue, because there are some beautiful items in there that coordinate really well with other things. Just ink it up, stamp it. Doesn't matter if it's crooked. And this is where I keep my strips of skinny cardstock that I've cut off when I'm layering down things. And just do that. So I'm going to punch that out in the middle. For the life of me, I can never ever remember what this punch is called. I think it's called Modern Label. We used to have a roundy one called Word Window, and pretty much since this came out, personally, I just call it the Pointy Word Window Punch because it's got the points and it's the same width. Now, you can stick that on the right way up like that, or another little tip for you to make more out of your punches, give you more versatility, is actually feed that back through there and it comes out like a little fishtail, which you might just want it hanging down that way, or you can flag off both ends into the little fishtail orientation. And I'm going to stick that on there. Yay, I haven't lost my glue. I'm very good at putting things down and forgetting where I've put them. I think this morning I've already lost about 3 things in the kitchen, but that's okay. And the shed keys, but I found them again, so that's okay too. That's a bit of a worry, Rochelle, if you can't check your bees, because in spring you're going to have fun, pretty much. You're going to have lots of fun. Now, when I put this in, the tea bag, put the tea bag into the little tea bag holder, I don't just shove that in and staple it, because generally when these have been in the box, the tea bag falls to the bottom. If I staple here, and when you go to pull this out to use the tea bag, it'll rip the tea bag. So what I do tend to do, it sounds Anne's pedantic, tap it, sorry, so that this is now, there's no tea bag down there, can you see that? Line that up, fold it over, and grab a stapler. I've got the odd Stamping Up stapler. Some of the tools, sadly, they retired this one. If they didn't retire things, we wouldn't have room for new things, but it does remind me sometimes, if there is a tool or something, you stamp set, whatever it happens to be, if you really like it, get it, because there's no guarantee that it will be there all of the time. So sometimes things come and go a little bit quickly, other times things stay for a long time, and then that just folds into there, and that's it. Super simple, using the Flowers for Everyday paper, the little punch, the sentiment from Free as a Bird, and the new Bumblebee paper. I think this is the Just Jade, the new colour there, and it's really easy. Cute little thank you, cute little item. And I did do one earlier, but I didn't quite like it as much with the larger daisy. Not because I don't like the larger daisy, but because when I just had this, I had no room to put a sentiment, and I thought that was a little bit odd not having a sentiment on it. And then I went, oh, Anne, have a little think about that. I actually just put the sentiment over there and covered up the little staples. So that's always an option if you want to decorate the whole little square there. You can put the sentiment on the bottom, or if you don't want a sentiment, you don't have to have a sentiment. It could just be a pretty little gift item, and it is one of those ones. So I think I have chatted on long enough this morning. If you have any questions, let me know. I will put up the dimensions of the card base, the score lines, and the size of the little pattern paper. You can make these as simple and as complex as you want. This sentiment wasn't a stamp. These are literally ones that I just printed off on my printer in Word document, printed it and got the punches. I got the 1 3/4 and the 2-inch punch, and I just punched out the sentiments and then layered it onto the 2-inch circle of the Daffodil Delight there as well. So, and again, these flowers I actually sort of put in my palm and squish to give it a little bit of dimension. It just makes them a little bit more realistic in terms of those. So you can customize these to any event that you are doing if there's not a sentiment that in a stamp that we already have. Right, I have laundry that I need to go and hang out because it is sunny today. And thank you very much for joining me, everyone. If you would like a little happy note in the mail, let me know. Or if you think someone else would like a little happy note in the mail, let me know, because I do have some cards I've made. I do have some of these little ones in extra I made that I don't need to keep for me. So if you would like some little happy mail, let me know. Otherwise, have a lovely, lovely weekend. I'm planning on doing some gardening. The sunshine has brought the weeds out. And if you do want a copy of the new mini catalogue that is coming out, I know this does have in it things for Thanksgiving, for Halloween, for autumn, for Christmas. And you might be thinking it's a little bit early for Christmas, but trust me, this year is such a weird year. I am grateful for the fact that we have it available from the 4th of August right through until the end of December. So it just gives us that option. Martine, I think if you go back to my Facebook business page, you can actually, once I end this video, you can actually watch the whole thing from beginning to end, if that makes sense. So hopefully it is sunny down in Denmark where you are. Have they put the markets, are you doing your soap at the markets again yet? I'm so excited that West Australia has behaved themselves for the most part, and we are actually getting back to normal. So it's exciting to be able to go to events, run events, and do all of that type of thing as well. And yes, we always love daisies, Sue. So I'm going to go because I'm just waffling now. Have a great day, and I will catch you again in Crafty Land soon.